I'm back. I'm biased, I'm bothered, and I am always unfiltered. If you are easily offended, this is not the place for you. But you still haven't managed to worthy up. Not to worry, let's get into this mess. Happy special Forces Day, everybody. Oh, this is a good episode. I enjoyed it. Now, I will tell you, okay, if you're hearing something in the background, there's a storm going on here, so that's what that is. But anyway, let's get into the good stuff. So, we're here with all of these people having breakfast. Now, Teresa does let us know that she has no napkins. I'm not surprised, Teresa. I'm really not. You're supposed to be one of these soldier people. But then, as these are having breakfast, right, there's just this screaming that's telling everybody to get out. And then we see our very own Cody Brown appearing, but he has his bag on his back as if he's ready for battle. I thought, where the hell did he come from? Is he walking around with this bag like on his back permanently? Calm down, dude. You're 57 years of age. Go and get yourself some breakfast, you know. Anyway, now we're outside and we're being given our mission. So these are being told that they have to pick somebody that they trust, okay? I thought trust. They don't even know each other. These people are strangers. Anyway, we're off, but we haven't been told what we're going to do yet. But we do get a little confessional from Jussie, right? Now, he's telling us that what he wants is a reset, okay? That's what he wants in his life. So we're told that this is going to be the most terrifying task of all. I thought, you know what? Every time these people are going to do a task, they're going to tell us like that, you know, it's the most terrifying task. Anyway, these are hiking up like the side of a mountain. It's not really a mountain, though, it's just a dam, right? But it is 250 foot high. Now, there's all steps in it. Now, Teresa is already finding this very difficult, and she's saying like that she can't breathe, but too bad because she's getting shouted at anyway. And Eddie is saying to her, well, you're talking, so you can't breathe. I thought Jeepers, Eddie, calm down, you know, give her a moment. Now, Gia is telling her, like, you can do this, you know, you can do this. So we're getting a little confessional from Gia now. And she tells us that when she was 13 years old, that her mother was in prison. So basically, you know, she had to grow up fairly quickly. Anyway, we see a plane, right? Now, for some reason, Foxy decides to let us know that he was in 3 helicopter crashes. I thought that's grand, Foxy, and thanks for telling us that. Anyway, what they have to do is, right, we're seeing an airplane, and what they have to do is they have to get in the airplane and they have to get submerged in the water. But it's not really like, it's not really an airplane because this thing is stripped. Like, it's just a skeleton, okay? Like, there's no back on it, there's no doors, there's no windows or anything like that. But it is 265 foot high. So we're being told the reason that they need a partner, okay, is because the task is going to be done like by 2 people, but they for them to win, okay, for them to complete the task, they both have to complete it. So what they have to do is hold their breath for 20 seconds, but they're going to be strapped into the plane, right? And then they have to escape through a specific door in order to pass. But I will say, right, Rudy and Q are giving us a demonstration, and like some of these people are very nervous. I was laughing at this, but then I was thinking, you know, if you had a fear of heights or a fear of water or something, I think this would actually be be quite nerve-wracking, you know. So as we were watching the demonstration, right, Foxy is telling everyone that they are gonna start panicking because we really want to rile these people up. But anyway, I am noticing like it's barely under the water. Like this, it's not really submerged. It's just like literally under the water, and there's loads of people around, you know, like to make sure that nothing goes wrong. Now Teresa is saying that this is her biggest fear. I thought, is it really, though, Teresa? Is it? Because you were actually in prison. Anyway, Eva and Josie, right? These two are pumping each other up, right? You know that they can do it, they can do it. Because they're up, right? It's their turn. Now, Eva is already panicking, and Billy is telling her to calm down, right? He's telling Eva to calm down. But, like, Rudy, you know, like the special forces guy, like, he's sitting right behind them, right? He is. They're going to be grand. Anyway, these are submerging, and now they're under the water. So, after 20 seconds, right, Rudy is tapping them so they can make their way out. Now, unfortunately, Jussie goes to the wrong door, but Eva gets out correctly. So these two are both now out of the plane in the water and they're swimming. And then Eva, okay, just starts like passing out. Like the woman just passed out. No, I'm not talking about messing. The woman actually passed out. So she's just being dragged out of the water, right? Now she does come around very quickly, but I would think that like that's very scary. I can't imagine like passing out like underwater, you know. I think that would be very, very scary. But because they are part of a team and because Juicy went out the wrong door, it doesn't matter that she went out the right door because they're failing, okay? But we are being told that they're failing, not because of Eva, because of Juicy. Now, I don't know who Cody is going down with. It's not Johnny, right? I guarantee you he was raging because do you remember he went off with Ken like on the boat? He loves a bit of water. He loves a body of water like with his bestie, and Johnny is his bestie here. But we don't see much of Cody, but we are told that he does in fact fail. I did get some great pictures of him underwater though, which I did appreciate. Now, in case you're wondering, Johnny did actually pass. So I know that Cody is double pissed off. So now it's Gia and Teresa's turn, but these are being called Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Do you remember I said last week, I don't think Billy likes this woman. I don't think he does because she's saying like that this is her biggest fear, and he says, "Good." I thought, hang on a second, Billy. You didn't say that to Eva, so you shouldn't be saying it to Teresa. I like fairness, right? I like everything to be fair. Like we can all be treated like shite, but equally, okay, equally. Anyway, these get into the plane, right? And Gia is telling her mother like to calm down. I do like this girl, I do. But Billy is now screaming at them to stay calm. Do you know if you're panicking, right? Do you know what's never helpful? Somebody shouting at you and telling you to stay calm. So anyway, these are now like getting into the water. Like the water is starting to come in the plane. And Teresa is already freaking out, okay? She's freaking out. And as the water is just like coming up her body, she's panicking, right? So she has to go. She's out of there. Now Billy lets us know that it is a diabolical fail. I thought, all right then, Billy. So for some reason, there's an odd number of people and somebody needs a partner. So Jussie steps up. I thought, oh, I guarantee it, right? This person who needs a partner, I bet they wanted Johnny or something. Anyway, so they go down and they're doing like their trial. But again, he goes out the same wrong door. But I'm going to give it to him, right? I am. For trying. At least he tried. So we're getting a confessional from Jussie. Now, Jussie tells us that he got jumped one night, but after that, it got even 10 times worse. I thought, no shit, dude. No shit. So, anyway, we're back in the lift, okay? Like on our way home. And Jussie is like really upset about failing because it means like that the other person, like, they failed too. So we're back in the camp. Now Eva is still shook like from passing out in the ward. I'm not surprised. She nearly fucking died. So the special forces people are talking about what happened today. Now they reckon that Teresa's a bit of a loser, right? But they reckon that Johnny did do well. And they also reckon that Eva nearly dying was basically her own fault. I thought, fucking hell. Anyway, now they want to talk to Johnny. You know the way they talk to the people, right? Do you know what I was wondering? Why the hell are they putting the hoods over the people's heads? Like, this is literally on the set. Everybody knows where you are, lads. So anyway, the special forces guys are looking at Jussie's past. And Q says, like, the whole world knew about him, all right? The whole world knew, like, what happened with Jussie. Anyway, Jussie comes in and he sits down and they're telling him you're a double loser because you failed the same task twice. So he's being asked like, why are you here? Now Jussie reckons that certain things happened and that he's being painted in a bad light. But Q wasn't really happy with that, right? Because he says, like what? So Jussie is telling us, right? Now this is his words, right? He believes that people believe, right, that he had something to do with the attack on himself, but that he was jumped on and that he ended up in jail. And apparently, like, it had a big effect on him. I thought, Jussie, do you know who had a big effect on your nanny? Because I seen your nanny. And do you know what? His nanny was with him every step of the way, right? That woman was with him. But you know what? My nanny would be the very same. My nanny would be the first person to say to you, my grandchild, are you mad? She's an angel walking on this planet. And his nanny is the very same. Do you know what? That's why you never fuck around with your ride or die. Ever. If you're going to get them involved in anything, never any shenanigans, right? Never. Anyway, Jussie is worried, right, that being on special forces is going to make him look like a fool. But he's being told, nah, only you can do that. So anyway, now he's getting this damn hood like put back on his head and brought out again. And Jussie says, right, that he never wants to talk about like that again, like, the situation. I thought, Jussie, you've just been in a documentary about it.
So he's telling the others that it was intense. And then he says that he just wants to be left alone in his life. I thought that's grand, but you're on the telly, Jussie. You're literally on the telly. Do you know what? This is giving me the same vibes as Harry and Meghan. You know the way they're like, we need privacy, we need privacy. How you Netflix? Come on in and film me. Come on into me house, you know. I'll blast it all over the world for everybody to see. I'm not a lover of Harry, by the way. For obvious reasons. Anyway, it's the next day, right? Now, Teresa says that people think like she's a bit of a bitch and that she can fly off the handle sometimes. I know you can. I seen you flipping that table. Anyway, we're all being screamed at again, and now we're heading off for a kill or be killed challenge. I thought, calm down. Like, it's only a bit of boxing, you know? But apparently, this is one of the hardest parts of being like a special forces person because when they have to fight their opponent, I thought, hang on a second, when the hell would you ever be fighting like your opponent? That doesn't make any sense to me. But the aim of the game is, right? Like, your opponent is somebody that you don't like, but they're talking about fighting their opponent like in real life who's on their team. I don't understand any of that. But anyway, these people are told that they to start boxing, right? And they're not to stop like until they're told to stop, right? So Eva is seeing all of these people fighting, and she says that she wants to talk to a psychologist about nearly drowning. Do you know what? This woman is not about to mess her face up, okay? She's fucking stunning looking. She's looking at these thinking, nah, I'm not doing that. Anyway, we do see Cody getting beaten up, okay? Not just beaten up, but he's getting knocked to the ground. I thought, you know what? The spirit of Drake is in whoever this person is. That was for you, Drake. That was. So we're not getting very much of Cody being battered, unfortunately. So next up is Gia, who I realised is the image of Nicole Richie. I thought, holy mother of God, they look like twins. Now Teresa says that she can't watch. I thought, what the fuck, Teresa? I was very bothered by this, okay? I don't care how Teresa is feeling. I wanted her to stand there and I wanted her to cheer Gia on and say, like, you're great, you're great. I don't care, like, what's going on in Teresa's mind, right? Because this is all about Gia, like, in this moment. So because she's after saying like that she can't like stand there and watch, she's telling us like that she's not a quitter, but she is actually quitting. I beg to differ, Teresa. You are actually a big, you're a big loser because you just quitted. But you quitted like when your daughter was doing like her boxing. So I wasn't a bit impressed with that. So anyway, now Teresa, like she's out with a special forces show. So Gia is fighting. Now, she is getting fairly battered, but for some reason she's turning her back. Don't ever do that, by the way, right? Don't ever do that. Even if you can't fight, always just keep your hands up, you know? Don't be turning your back to people. Anyway, she didn't win, right? But she is told that she did a good effort and she was valiant. I appreciate that, okay? Because she does actually look very upset here. So we're finishing up boxing and we're going back to the base. Now the special people are talking like, about these celebrities, right? They think that she is not gonna last too long without her mother and that Eve is too shook up from nearly dying. I'm not surprised now. So they're telling Eve like that she has to go. I reckon she's feckin' delighted. I do. But you know what? She's not a loser, right? She's not a loser because she was told that she had to go. But Teresa, yeah, I'm side-eyeing now. I am. I'm side-eyeing her. She is a loser, you know. Wasn't fucking happy about that. Anyway, we're hearing from Gia. Now she tells us that she gets triggered like when people leave her. So now she's getting this feckin' hood put on her to walk a couple of feet like across this like bunker place to the special forces people. But as soon as she sits down, she starts crying. I thought, oh no, no, no. Do you know what? If I start crying at more rich people on the telly, my family are going to have me feckin' committed. Anyway, she's telling us, right, that she was panicking when her mother left. So the reason like she gets triggered by people leaving is basically because her father didn't file taxes for 10 years, right? And him, like, and the mother, they ended up in prison. But she has four sisters that she had to look after because she's the eldest, but she was only like 13. So she had to grow up like very quickly. So basically, she is the father Logan of that family, you know? So Billy is saying to her, like, that Teresa a bit of a loser and she is actually holding you back. And Gia is basically agreeing. Now, she does say that she loves her family, right? She does, but she needs to do her own thing. I'm telling you, Father Logan, Gia, same person, okay? Very, very same person. Anyway, she's finished and she's getting the hood, this fucking hood like put back on her. So she's now back in the camp, right? Now see, she says that the talk it was tough, right? But she is gonna try and stick out the rest of the special forces. I am rooting for this girl. I am. I'm also rooting for Cody. I want him to do like really well because I want him to stay in for longer. And then I seen something so glorious, okay? Oh, because I am getting a look at Cody Brown being shouted at and his wives being brought up. And I thought, hell yeah, baby, do it more often. Oh, God, I'm lubed up for that one. It looks so good. Anyway, that is our recap. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, go ahead and hit subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.